Chicago. What do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Pregame Show presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. We're back, and it is back to work, back to the grind, to the push for 63, Cody. Cody Del Mendo and Luke Stuckmeyer getting ready for a massive series against the Reds if the Cubs are going to get to 63 wins.
Luke,
Teams you got to beat, Cincinnati Reds at the top of that list.
I'm going to be honest with you, Luke, and you might actually be surprised by this.
All right.
But I watched a total of 5 innings.
Yeah.
This last series, a total of 5 innings, and that includes the Friday game because I was like basically following it on a Gamecast on my computer while I was at my buddy's house. Remember, I was live from the kitchen. Remember, Saturday and Sunday, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't
watch the. So you didn't have to see the Pujols homer live?
No,
me neither.
It still hurt.
It felt good. Doesn't feel like it happened.
I don't think it's like that for me, but
feels like it never even happened. I didn't see it.
I'm just letting everyone know that if you didn't, I won't judge you because I didn't either. Because
that's right.
I am mentally broken from this franchise.
But now we're back. Now we're back in the saddle.
We are here.
Back on the saddle.
And at least the schedule is a little bit easier. So I'm like, all right, it's the Reds tonight. Like they didn't even, I guess Sunday they showed some fight. You can argue they should have won.
Yeah.
I'm just
Stroman had a nice
I am
weekend.
So happy we're done playing the Cardinals. I've never seen the Cubs struggle against the Cardinals like they have this year. Like I feel like every year it's always close and contested. Like no game is ever like close. And I feel like in the beginning of the year they were a lot more competitive, but obviously after the deadline it's been different. Some of the games at home have been close. They've won some fun games at home against the Cardinals, but like in St. Louis, though, man, especially in the second half, has been awful.
So let me ask you this: if in a perfect world they have realignment in Major League Baseball, would you prefer not to have the Cardinals in the Cubs division just so you didn't have to deal with this, or would you prefer the Cubs just get really good and somehow they're back in charge, pounding on the Cardinals?
Yeah, I would absolutely rather.
That's what you would prefer.
I would prefer them to still play them 19 times a year. Or whatever it is, and just beat the living shit out of them. That's what I would prefer. That's what I live for during the baseball season is watching that fan base crumble and fall apart and be in shambles.
Like Aaron Rodgers in the postseason.
Yes,
that's what you're hoping for.
Yes, that's
an Aaron Rodgers-like performance.
Yes, that's what I live for. This year, at least, That's what I live for. And so I don't want to play less games against the Cardinals. I want to play more games. I want to play the same amount of games we always play against them.
Well, it is going to be less games technically.
It will be.
They are going to reduce that number. But
it is what it is. I'm just giving you what I think.
Yeah, Nick says, imagine if the Astros are still in the division.
Yikes.
The good news is we don't have to see, unless you're going to watch postseason baseball when the Cardinals are playing in it, you don't have to ever watch Yadi Molina or Albert Pujols play baseball again. You can do that. You can now set yourself up to never have to watch those guys play again.
I might have to log off. Like, I might have to take a Twitter break the entire month of October. We'll just do the show, and you can tell everyone how I'm feeling all the time, or Ryan can tell everyone how I'm feeling all the time, like the entire month of October. Because if that team somehow, some way finds if they find themselves in the NLCS. Oh, man.
Back them up. They're
done. The national media will hype up this whole Gotti and Pujols thing. Yeah. It's not happening. I will consider lots and lots of alcohol. Lots of it. So
let's talk positive. Hayden Wesneski called up by the Cubs.
Yeah. No,
so one of
finally.
The big piece from the Scott Efros trade to the Yankees is up with the Cubs. Going to try and show him what he's got, and apparently David Ross, they're going to try and do the bullpen route, right? Start him as a bullpen guy. See, that's what he'd been doing a little bit of. Man, I'd like to see him pitch. I'm looking forward to. And again, it's not a yes/no decision on him. It's not make or break. The first game's not going to be, but I'd like to see him come out and do well.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a guy who's going to be coming out of the bullpen, I think it's a little bit more anticipated than any other guy that we've ever had, at least in recent history. But I like the idea of it, especially here in September where he's already pitched 110 innings in the minor leagues this year, so you don't want to – I don't know, you don't want to push it if you don't have to. I am a little surprised they're not going to go ahead and let him start one game at least because Steele is going to the IL.
Right.
But with Wade Miley back, I guess it makes sense. Hopefully Wade Miley stays healthy the rest of the year so he can at least eat innings so the Cubs aren't getting pounded every single day because they have to – use their entire bullpen, and then it affects them the next 2 days after that. I know a lot of us don't care what the heck Wade Miley is doing, but in terms of giving
somebody has to pitch.
Yeah, in terms of just having a decent game to watch, and again, putting some of these bullpen arms in high leverage spots for for growing pains or growth, whatever you want to call it, like. At least he'll be able to, and when he has pitched this year, he has pitched well. So that's where I'm at. So I would be interested to see if I don't know, maybe it's a Samson start, or if he does pitch tonight, cool. I don't know how many pitches they're thinking Wade Miley's going to pitch tonight, but
yeah, it could be a piggyback deal.
Could be a piggyback deal.
Just a couple innings for Miley, and then you bring him in.
And he's going up against the Reds, and so I feel like that's a good transition in. It's, we yelled, I think, it was against the Blue Jays. They brought Brennan Little in against the Blue Jays with guys on in his major league debut, and he stunk it up, and everyone was calling him a bum. And it's like, well, the situation they brought him in wasn't exactly ideal either. So I think no matter what, if they bring him in tonight, it's a very nice, smooth transition opportunity. So I am excited to see what he does. Yeah, and part of a big trade. I mean, Scott Efros is a good reliever.
Well, he was the surprising trade.
Yeah.
He wasn't the most surprising thing at the trade deadline. That was not trading Contreras or Happ. Mm-hmm. But the next biggest surprise was Efros, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and you know what else was surprising? Not having the Cubs play a baseball game on Labor Day.
Yeah.
That was weird. Just felt weird with them having a day off.
It was nice. I was glad they didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, and yeah, right. Now Nick G says, reminds me, Miley revenge game, or is it an Albert Almora revenge game?
Yeah, could go either way. Revenge games.
Could go either way here.
Yeah, Albert Almora is batting like 360 against Wade Miley in his career in 11 at bats.
Well, he's been fixed.
I don't think he's been fixed, but he's got Wade Miley's number. Congratulations, man.
Wilson Contreras to the 10-day IL, retroactive to the 3rd of September. Luke Farrell, Nicholas Padilla designated for assignment. So a lot of kind of roster action going on with the Cubs. And then, those are interesting and all. Well,
and Hermosillo's coming back too.
Hermosillo's back, but not in the lineup tonight. And then the interesting nugget that was thrown out by Jed Hoyer that Ben Zobrist has been helping out in some capacity, and that they'd like to have him at spring training helping out a little bit. I love it. Ben Zobrist is everything you want in trying to develop a player. First of all, he came from out of nowhere to make it in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Back-to-back World Series MVP. Everything you want in a guy to teach players to do it the right way, do the small things. If you work hard and play the right way and give it your best, doing it the right way, there's a chance you can get to be what Ben Zobrist is. Like for Christopher Morel, great guy for him to now pick the brain of if he's around, right? That's Nico's a good one, but Morel specifically, if he's going to be a guy that jumps around and plays a lot of different positions moving forward in this organization, he should just sit with Ben Zobrist and soak it all in.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, especially because Christopher Morel has been struggling of late.
Yeah, it's been a rough 30 days, yeah.
It's been really bad of late, and that doesn't mean I'm out on Christopher Morel. Doesn't mean that I'm in on him. I've been in on him, and I still believe in him. But this is how rookie seasons go, right? You go the peaks and valleys, right? And now he's in the valley, and he's been in it for a while. And admittedly, he's had to go up against some tough teams. So I'm hoping, with this somewhat easy schedule here in September, hopefully he can get out of it. But yeah, a guy like Ben Zobrist can help him, really make those adjustments and honestly just make him make him another version of himself, because I mean, really, like Morelli can play all over the field. He has some power. He has like when he's been good, he's putting the bat on the ball. Like these are all things that Ben Zobrist did. I think Morel has a little bit more power than him, which is great. But
he's more athletic for sure.
Definitely more athletic, and can play. Honestly, can play more positions than Zobrist too. But you know,
and from a hitting perspective, I'd love to have Madrigal watch him.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have Nico watch him, because Ben Zobrist did have a little more pop.
Yeah.
And did find a way to hit some home runs every once in a while. So I just think there's a lot of guys coming up that could learn from Ben Zobrist if he wants to be part of the organization. I think he could help in multiple ways. Yeah, I'm all for it. And the guys that have been struggling, you know, I know that Brendan and Corey touched on it on the podcast that came out on Monday at the end of the sweep to the Cardinals. And in the middle, they talked about the guys that have been struggling recently. Two guys that have had great seasons, you know?
Yeah.
And it's Nico Horner and Christopher Morel. And we should not be surprised by this. And it doesn't take away anything that's happened this season to the positive. Just like the same goes true for Steele and for Thompson.
Yeah.
It's four guys that have never played this much baseball. This is the highest level they've ever been at, and they've never played this many games ever in their lives. So to think that there's going to be some peaks and valleys and some struggles, and you know what? They just might be worn down physically and mentally. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's why they're going through it now. And it's also why I do want to see guys promoted as soon as we think I'm not saying rush prospects, but it's like it's another reason why you want to see Wesneski. It's another reason why you want to see Killian. It's why you want to see get your feet wet. It doesn't just happen in a smooth line instantly that a guy gets called up and they're rookie of the year and they're never struggle again. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So these games mean absolutely nada other than our push to 63 and development and exploring. Mm-hmm. So let them work through some of this stuff. And in the case of Steele and Thompson, it's probably time to shut them down. I don't know if I need to. He may want to, but I don't know if I need to see Justin Steele pitch again this season. There's 3 weeks left. You know what? Wrap it up. Come back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at this point, especially Steele, I feel like.
What are you going to get out of one more start?
Thompson's been out for a while, but I'd like to see him come back, and if he can pitch the last 2 weeks of the year, I think that would be huge for him, because when he went down, he was struggling.
Yeah.
You know, and I think some people were out on him again. But Steele, I mean, it sucks that he's hurt because he's been pitching so well. And you'd like to see him finish the season strong. So if it is just 10 days, like if it literally is just the 10 days since his injury or whatever, then, you know.
And he's had enough time to rebuild to where he's at. Like, he's 100% and more, as they say, 110%.
Right.
You know.
Basically, you're not pushing it.
I don't want any kind of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. So, you know, and if they don't, then maybe it does give Hayden Wesneski a chance to start. You know, I just don't know. Like, I'm at a point where I just don't know if they're going to call up any more, you know, arms that we've been talking about all year. I mean, I'm still surprised we haven't seen Cam Sanders here. Mm-hmm. You know, Killian's still down there, and I know he's been kind of up and down, and I know people are starting to be out on him because he's still down there, and he's had some bad starts in Iowa, and like I don't know. I really genuinely don't know. But to me, it's like when we're in a season that we're already in, just getting them more major league experience, I feel like goes a long way. That gives them something to build off of in the offseason. And Killian's got, 2-3 starts?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just like that's just how I feel about it. And I think majority of people are with me as well. It goes back to how we sit here and complain about Ortega playing every day or whoever, you know? Like Darius Hill's in Iowa, and he's been really good there. Crook has been there in Iowa all season.
Waiting.
And, been really, and we're really good. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like, it's things like that make me think or wonder about all these other arms at least. And so I don't know. I just, as far as Steele and Thompson, no, you don't have to bring them back
I'm totally okay if they don't pitch again this year.
I'm
really,
totally
I
okay
am.
with
Like,
it. Yeah, I'd rather honestly see Wade Miley eat his innings just because, like, what's the point?
Not only am I okay with them not pitching again this season, I'm still confident that they are pieces of the rotation next season, both of them. Like, I've seen enough to go from a guy who was skeptical in spring training. We were like, should they be relievers? Should they be starters? Then even having that same conversation a month into the season, 2 months into the season, not knowing where we're going. I like them in the rotation next year. They're pieces of the rotation. I don't need to see them pitch again this year. They've already shown me that they can go deeper into a season. They can build on it next year. What are you gambling tonight? And by the way, how did your first college football full weekend go?
Ugh.
Did it go better than Brian Kelly's?
Yeah, it did go better than Brian Kelly's weekend. I'll say that. I had a really good Friday. I had a really good Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, the first part of the day, like 11 a.m. games were okay. And then it went, like, I think I lost like 6 or 7 straight. It was not good. Boise State is dead to me. Yeah. But then I had Florida State to cover for Sunday. But I also took the over. And the over missed because that kicker from LSU couldn't tie it and send it to overtime. If they go to overtime,
poor kid.
That over is probably going to hit. Like, that increased percentage of the over hitting, because the total was like 50 points. And I think it would have been 23-23, would have been less than a touchdown away from hitting the over. So that murdered me. And then I had a push last night because Dabo Sweeney decided to try when his team was up a billion points, and I had the under in the game, so thankfully I pushed and got my money back, but should have been a win because that was headed under the entire night. I just went on a rant, sorry.
Sarah, before you get to the read, how do we clip off when Cody just told us how his weekend went after the early games? How did you describe it? It went from here to what?
From here to
I think that's a GIF we need to have. I don't know how to make the GIF things, but that's a GIF we could have. Corey, if you're watching, make sure you clip that off.
Casey, where you at, Casey?
Clip that off.
We'll throw that in the social graphics and Dropbox and clip it and get a graphic going.
We're going to work on that. I think it's something.
Anyway, I made all these bets on PointsBet, and that's the only good thing about my weekend is I got to open up PointsBet, guys. I love PointsBet. Everyone knows here that I love PointsBet. Even Luke likes PointsBet.
I love it.
66%. Right. PointsBet Sportsbooks counting down the days until football season. Literally, you've been watching the Bears show today. I was hyped watching the Bears show today, by the way. We're counting down the days of football season with a new offer every day until the season kicks off. From now until September 8th, PointsBet Power Hour will unlock a new daily offer from 12 to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. They had odds on Super Bowl winner this year, like increased odds. I bet the Saints because it was up plus 4,500, and I thought that's really good value for a team that could do it. And probably won't do it. But anyway, sign up for PointsBet now using code CHGO to also get risk-free bets up to $2,000. Don't miss out on your chance to get daily access to free bets, boosted odds, and so much more now through September 8th. But that's not it. If you make a 51 or more first-time deposit, you will receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. Download the PointsBet app today and use code CHGO to take advantage of this limited time offer. Don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. And if you go ahead and do that and do the $51, you can get all that Bears gear that we just put out there today.
Put the release. And on YouTube we showed the Cubs shirt. Hey Chicago, what do you say? By the way, people wondering, why hire Ben Zobrist to do more? Let me just show you the sign right there on the set.
Yeah.
2016 World Series champs.
People forget that.
Wouldn't be there without him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be there without him.
Yeah.
All right, so, we don't like to talk about the lineup a whole lot, but because I'm the director of Buzzkill.
I already kind of complained about it.
The DOB, Ortega's in center. Rivas at first. Gomes catching, and you don't have a choice right now, but I guess you do.
I mean, I guess Rivas playing first makes sense because Wisdom's still on the IL.
And
Wisdom would be playing first base if he was healthy.
And Gomes over Higgins, like, if Wesneski is going to catch or pitch tonight, then I do like having Gomes as his catcher.
Right.
First time out there.
Right.
So
I guess if it was up to me, we'd be playing Higgins at first base tonight just because he has more pop. And as far as center field, I mean, listen, I know Michael Hermosillo hasn't impressed us. I was a Hermosillo stan at the beginning of the year. How the mighty have fallen. That was a hell of a long time ago. I never said that I thought he was going to be the next great thing. It's just like I thought, young, athletic,
everybody deserves a second chance.
Played well at AAA. I mean, if they're going to play – if we're going to play Ortega all the time, who's had 10 years to put together a really good career, I mean, why are we not giving this guy a shot? I don't know. So it is what it is. It's never that I thought that Hermosillo was going to be the next great center fielder. It was all about the fact that he's young. It's kind of like it's the same take I have with Zach McKinstry. So many people are done with Zach McKinstry. I was tweeting some people yesterday on Twitter about Zach McKinstry because people kept asking me, why is this guy still here? Why is he batting leadoff? And it's just like, dude, I don't know why he's batting leadoff. And if it was up to me, I wouldn't be batting him leadoff either. But you know what? It's better than Ortega, and whatever. More often than not, they're batting Madrigal off leadoff, and that's fine. That's great. I'm happy to see that they're doing that at least more often than not. But Ortega has become the new what's the thing?
Hayward?
Well, I guess in a way. Punching bag. He's become the new punching bag. It's like
I didn't know you were trying to go.
I can't
I wanted
talk.
to help, but I was like, I don't know where he's going.
We were off for 5 days or whatever. I can't talk. 4 days. I can't math either. So like that we're all overseeing Ortega. And I'm overseeing Rivas because I think Rivas at this point is a bench piece at best, or he's just he's a depth guy that if you have an injury, you can have him come up from Iowa or wherever. It's sad how the mighty have fallen because I thought Rivas was could have had some potential because he's young, and maybe he could, if he can cut down the strikeout rate, maybe he could. I don't know, but he doesn't have enough power to play first base on a consistent basis. So that's why I'm kind of just whatever. And he doesn't have enough power to play corner outfield either. That's the problem with him. Like, if you got what you get from him from second base, then that would make sense, in my opinion. Because I do like his approach.
Right.
Got a good approach. It's just the production just isn't there. So there's my rant about the lineup.
Two comments. Michael says Ortega's going to get a 5-year deal this offseason. That was a big free agent move.
Yeah.
Funny. And Niren's talking about the 40-man rosters and how they work. Obviously, that's going to have a huge – that is already having a huge impact on what guys are being called up, played, all of that stuff. Like, it's not as simple as just saying this guy's playing well in the minor leagues. Let's bring him up right now. There's guys that you don't need to protect right now, and there's guys they're trying to decide on that do need to be protected. So that's all part of it. I understand that. It has nothing to do with why Ortega is playing center field tonight.
Yeah. Has anyone said about Matt Mervis in the comments?
Oh yeah, there's been some Mervis stuff already.
Because I mean that's
what
people
people are talking like.
Right.
Yes,
that's the big one.
That's why he's not up.
Right. Absolutely is why he's
one
not
of the
up.
reasons for sure.
They are treating Matt Mervis like they treated Chris Bryant in 2014. Chris Bryant had the best minor league season. Year.
He has made leaps, and so I'm okay with that as long as he gets a realistic look at spring training.
Absolutely.
Right. Like
especially if they ain't gonna go do something big at first base.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Like if Patrick Wisdom is gonna be your first baseman on opening day and that's it, then you better be calling up Matt Mervis at some point.
Right.
Like in April. Because that guy has proved everything at Iowa.
Right. When Jacob proves a full month of us doing live shows from Arizona.
Live shows from Arizona.
He's still here. He's looking. He's kind of looking under his hat a little bit.
He's in the zone.
Anyways, Niren's saying that's what he's talking about. Is everybody saying Mervis?
Yeah.
It's way more detailed. Ryan actually is pretty good about understanding like what moves have to be made, and it is trickier than just fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
I understand that and why they're doing it. Who you got? Interesting. We haven't had one in a while because we had a couple days off, and then they didn't play Monday, so we were off Monday. And now we're looking at it, and I'm saying, listen, I got to start making my run here, like the push to 63 and the push to my Who You Got championship.
Which wins us nothing. I
running out of time. No, bragging rights for life.
Bragging rights for life.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing, Cody.
Here we are. Just think, in 5 years, Ryan will say something mean to Luke, and then you'll be like, "Oh, remember when I won Who You Got?" And
when I finished in second in Who You Got?
Yeah.
Get off my lawn, punk.
Anyway, I got Hap tonight. He mashes against the Reds in his career. That's why I took him.
Well, it's interesting that Horner and Morel have both been struggling, and those were two popular guys to take for a long time, along with Contreras. And right now you're not taking any of those three. One's not playing, and the other two are struggling. And in fact, my heater that I was on, my hot streak was Horner, and all of a sudden he went cold and I went a little cold. So now I've got to find somebody else. I tried to get Madrigal, but Ryan
might as well be
Ryan
taking
shares
Madrigal
shoes
every
with the
night.
guys, so
they might have the same size of shoes, honestly.
They swap shoes, shorts, caps, everything. So it's like he's got an in. So that's what we're going with. I'm going with Seiya because Seiya's been doing. I feel like Seiya's, and I feel like he is going to finish the season strong.
Yeah, I think that might be the biggest positive over the last week, despite the fact that they only won one game last week, was that Suzuki has been playing pretty well. I love that he's been taking the ball the other way a lot more. Obviously, would love more power. I'd love to see more homers, but I think that will come in year 2 more so than people would probably think. And if it doesn't, I mean, he's still a very serviceable right fielder who gives you solid contact and good at bat. Ben Zobrist-like.
Yeah.
And with the contract he got, I mean, Ben Zobrist's contract isn't that much different than, say, Suzuki's, the one that the Cubs gave him. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that there's still better to come from, say, Suzuki. I don't think what we've seen in 2022 is what we're always going to get.
Right. Niren says Votto at first would be fun. Some veteran free agents plus Brennan, Canario, Mervis. Oh, yeah, I mean,
dude,
count me in for Joey Votto for a couple years at first base. And Mervis DHing and spelling the older guy.
Yeah. Dude, and
then put him on marquee after that.
The 50 Reds fans that exist would just be in shambles if Joey Votto was a Cub.
I just don't think he's ever leaving the Reds.
I don't either. And I don't understand why. Did you see
the
video?
Because I think if he wanted to, he could have told them, I want to be traded.
True.
At any point right now, like he could be like, you know what, just trade me to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And I think the Reds would have done it for him at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys that just prefers to stay where he is. And Matt's asking, speaking of heaters, is Naked Guy burning one?
No, he's
Naked
not.
Guy, the lights appear to be off in his place. I wonder if he went away for Labor Day weekend. For thieves, I don't want to say, but
he's still living it up. I was gonna relay to Votto. I was gonna ask if you saw that video of him in the broadcast booth describing why the game is great the way it is right now.
And he's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, of all the guys that have killed the Cubs over the years, he's the one where I would say, man, I wish he was a Cub. He's not the greatest player of that group.
No.
But he's a Hall of Famer, and he's an awesome player, and he just seems like such a fun guy. I would love to have seen him be a Cub. It helps that he was on a bad team.
Yeah, it really helps that he was just not on a good team. That's why I can't stand the other ones. But
his personality's just different from all the other guys, too.
That's true. He never cried like that one guy who plays for the Cardinals who will not be named.
I see the Sox guys coming in.
Are they back?
I didn't know if they were coming back either.
No, are the Sox back? The things have drastically changed since
what is
our
it, 2
last
games?
show.
There's still 2 games?
I don't know.
They're still done.
I mean, they still have hope. Do you like that they have hope the rest of the year? Because it seemed like they were dead after getting swept by the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's more interesting for us as a network.
Okay, so you're looking at it from a network standpoint. What about you as just
a baseball fan? Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
Honestly, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really.
They're not going to win the World Series, so it doesn't matter to me.
I guess in a way, it is nice to let them just talk themselves into believing. Been there.
Would you rather see the Sox make the postseason or Pujols get 700?
Sox make the postseason. I would rather see that than Pujols get 700.
I'm with you on that.
So many people. I've seen that like on Twitter the last 2 weeks. It's like, if you're not cheering for Pujols to get to 700, then you're not a real baseball fan. You're a bad fan.
Don't tell me how to baseball.
Get off my lawn.
Thank you. That's the line. Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
See, Cody's over 30. He knows.
Yeah.
Got to start worrying about the grass.
It doesn't take away the fact that I said he was one of the greatest players I ever got to watch in my lifetime. I respect what he's done.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I should cheer for him to hit a milestone that only 5 guys have done. I don't care. I don't want that fan base to be happy. Ugh. I want them to be miserable. Just once in my life, I want that fan base to be miserable.
Last note before we go, I was cracking up the other day because how Facebook gives you hey, memories so many years ago, and I don't remember how many years ago it was, but it was hey, memory, and it shows a story I did in the scoreboard at Wrigley.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a picture of me and our producer in the scoreboard, and the number that's sitting at my there's piles of those numbers in the scoreboard. The number that's sitting next to me, 4.
4. Okay.
And I looked at it and I thought, that doesn't look like the one they gave Yadier Molina.
It doesn't.
They gave him a bogus piece of sheet metal with a new number painted on it. That was not a legit number. That's what I'm calling right now.
And they threw some green Benjamin Moore.
The one that was sitting at my feet was way more beat up than that one. I was like, yeah, they made him a piece of sheet metal and painted it on there.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope you got. Enjoy that in retirement. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs Pregame Show presented by PointsBet. We will be back here for an hour after this game. Win or lose, Wesneski or no Wesneski. Hopefully Wesneski.
Football draft to do during the game.
He's going to be drafting.
I got to eat something too.
He's going to eat, and we'll see you afterwards. Hopefully we'll fly the WC then.